Across centuries and continents, a handful of individuals rose above the ordinary to carve their names into the annals of history through sheer ambition, military brilliance, and an unquenchable thirst for power. Among them, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, and Napoleon Bonaparte are often heralded as the greatest conquerors the world has ever seen. Their achievements reshaped the political, cultural, and military landscapes of their eras, leaving legacies that endure to this day. Yet despite their vast empires and groundbreaking accomplishments, all four met their ends desiring more, proving that even the most extraordinary lives are finite in their reach. Alexander the Great, the visionary who conquered the world. Alexander III of Macedon, better known as Alexander the Great, was born in 356 BCE in Pella, the capital of ancient Macedon. From birth, Alexander was steeped in ambition. His father, King Philip II, was a brilliant military strategist who had transformed Macedon into a regional powerhouse. His mother, Olympias, imbued Alexander with a sense of divine destiny, even telling him he was a descendant of Zeus. Tutored by Aristotle, Alexander grew up with a keen intellect, a love for learning, and a fascination with the heroic myths of Homer. Yet it was not philosophy or governance that captivated him, it was the pursuit of conquest. At just 20 years old, Alexander became king after the assassination of his father. He inherited a stable kingdom and a formidable army, but faced immediate threats from both internal rivals and rebellious Greek city-states. Displaying tactical brilliance, Alexander quickly consolidated his power, crushing revolts in Thebes and Athens. But his ambitions extended far beyond the borders of Greece. In 334 BCE, he set out to achieve what no Greek had before, the conquest of the Persian Empire. Alexander's campaigns were a masterclass in strategy and resilience. At the Battle of Granicus, he dealt a decisive blow to Persian forces, opening the door to Asia Minor. The following year, he defeated King Darius III at the Battle of Issus, despite being vastly outnumbered. This victory demonstrated not only Alexander's military genius, but also his ability to inspire unwavering loyalty among his troops. As he marched southward, cities fell before him like dominoes. In Egypt, he was proclaimed a living god and founded Alexandria, a city that would become a beacon of Hellenistic culture. The crowning moment of his career came in 331 BCE at the Battle of Gaugamela, where he crushed Darius III and secured control of the Persian Empire. Yet Alexander was not content to rule. He pushed eastward, crossing the Hindu Kush and invading the Indian subcontinent. In 326 BCE, he faced his most challenging battle against King Porus at the Hydaspes River. Despite winning, the cost was immense. His army, exhausted and homesick, mutinied and refused to march further. Reluctantly, Alexander turned back, marking the beginning of his decline. Alexander's final years were consumed by paranoia, drinking, and the strain of managing a vast empire. In 323 BCE, at the age of 32, he died in Babylon under mysterious circumstances. Ancient sources suggest he succumbed to fever, while modern theories propose malaria, typhoid, or even poisoning. Some speculate he fell into a coma due to a rare neurological disorder, possibly hearing the plans of his generals as they plotted to divide his empire. Alexander's death left a power vacuum that plunged his empire into chaos. His generals, the Diadochi, fought bitterly for control, fragmenting the empire into rival states. Yet Alexander's influence endured, spreading Greek culture and ideas across 3 continents. His life was a testament to the heights of human ambition and the costs of overreaching. Julius Caesar, the man who destroyed the Republic. If Alexander represented the unbridled passion for conquest, Julius Caesar embodied calculated political and military ambition. Born in 100 BCE into a patrician family, Caesar lived during a period of immense turmoil in the Roman Republic. The state was plagued by corruption, social inequality, and power struggles between rival factions. Caesar's rise to power was marked by a combination of daring military campaigns, political maneuvering, and an almost prophetic belief in his destiny. Caesar's early career saw him rise through the ranks of Roman politics, holding various offices while building a reputation for charisma and cunning. However, it was his military command in Gaul that catapulted him to fame. Between 58 and 50 BCE, Caesar conducted a series of campaigns that expanded Rome's territory into modern-day France and Belgium. His victory over the Gallic chieftain Vercingetorix at the Siege of Alesia showcased his unparalleled strategic genius. These conquests brought immense wealth to Rome and cemented Caesar's status as a hero among the populace. However, his growing power alarmed the Senate, particularly his rival Pompey. In 49 BCE, Caesar defied a direct order to disband his army and crossed the Rubicon River, famously declaring, "The die is cast." This act of rebellion plunged Rome into civil war. Within a year, Caesar had defeated Pompey and established himself as the Republic's most powerful figure. In 44 BCE, Caesar declared himself Dictator Perpetuo, dictator for life, a move that enraged the Senate. Fearing that he intended to crown himself king, a group of 60 senators conspired to assassinate him. On the Ides of March, during a Senate meeting, they stabbed Caesar 23 times. His last moments were marked by betrayal, as his close ally Brutus was among the assassins. Caesar's death sent shockwaves through Rome, leading to another civil war that ultimately ended the Republic. His adopted heir, Octavian, later Augustus, emerged victorious, becoming Rome's first emperor. Caesar's life and death marked the end of an era, and his legacy, both as a military genius and a political reformer, continues to shape the world's understanding of power and ambition. Genghis Khan, the Wrath of the Steppes. Genghis Khan, born Temujin in 1162, rose from poverty and obscurity on the harsh Mongolian steppes to become one of history's greatest conquerors. After his father, a tribal leader, was poisoned, when Temujin was just 9, his family was abandoned by their tribe and left to survive in extreme poverty. These early hardships instilled in Temujin resilience, ambition, and an understanding of loyalty and power. As a young man, Temujin began uniting the warring Mongol tribes, combining diplomacy, cunning, and military force to consolidate his power. By 1206, he had succeeded in bringing the fractured tribes under his rule and was proclaimed Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler, at a grand assembly known as a Kurultai. With this title, his ambitions grew beyond the steppes, and he set out to conquer the known world. Over the next 2 decades, Genghis Khan's armies carved out the largest contiguous empire in history, stretching from China to Central Asia and Europe. His military strategies were revolutionary, emphasizing speed, mobility, and psychological warfare. The Mongol army's use of mounted archers, intelligence networks, and deception made it nearly invincible. His campaigns were marked by brutality. Cities that resisted were destroyed and their populations slaughtered. But he also promoted integration, sparing those who surrendered and incorporating skilled workers and administrators into his empire. Genghis Khan was not only a conqueror, but also an innovative ruler. He implemented a legal code, the Yasa, which emphasized discipline and justice, and established the Pax Mongolica, a period of relative peace that fostered trade, communication, and cultural exchange across the empire. His policies of religious tolerance allowed diverse populations to coexist under his rule. In 1227, Genghis Khan died during a campaign against the Western Xian Empire. The exact cause of his death remains unknown, and his burial site has never been discovered, adding to his mystique. By the time of his death, his empire spanned from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea. Genghis Khan's legacy is complex, marked by both unprecedented destruction and transformative governance. He remains a symbol of resilience, ambition, and the extraordinary power of a single individual to change the course of history. Napoleon Bonaparte. The artist of war, Napoleon Bonaparte, born on August 15, 1769, on the island of Corsica, rose from modest beginnings to become one of history's most transformative leaders. Educated at elite military academies in France, he quickly displayed extraordinary talent in strategy and leadership. His rise coincided with the French Revolution, a time of chaos and opportunity, which Napoleon exploited with daring and brilliance. Napoleon's early fame came from his success at the Siege of Toulon in 1793 and his Italian campaign in 1796 to 1797, where he defeated larger forces through superior tactics. His Egyptian campaign in 1798 was less decisive but expanded his reputation as a bold leader and visionary. By 1799, political instability in France allowed Napoleon to stage a coup, making himself first consul and later Emperor of France in 1804. As emperor, Napoleon revolutionized both governance and warfare. He introduced the Napoleonic Code, which modernized France's legal system, promoting meritocracy, property rights, and equality before the law. These reforms became a foundation for legal systems worldwide. Militarily, Napoleon was a genius. His swift, decisive victories, most famously at Austerlitz in 1805, reshaped Europe. At its height, Napoleon's empire spanned much of the continent, forcing monarchies to bow to his influence. However, Napoleon's insatiable ambition led to his downfall. His continental system, designed to weaken Britain economically, strained relations with other nations. The 1812 invasion of Russia was a turning point. After advancing deep into Russian territory, his army suffered catastrophic losses due to harsh winter conditions, starvation, and relentless Russian resistance. This failure emboldened his enemies, leading to his defeat at the Battle of Leipzig in 1813 and his exile to Elba in 1814. Yet Napoleon's story did not end there. In 1815, he escaped Elba and regained power during the 100 Days, rallying France for one last campaign. However, his defeat at Waterloo by British and Prussian forces ended his reign for good. Captured by the British, he was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. There, Napoleon spent his final years writing memoirs and reflecting on his life, maintaining the image of a misunderstood genius and ruler. Napoleon died on May 5, 1821, at the age of 51. His last words reportedly expressed his love for France, the army, and his first wife, Josephine. His legacy is a paradox. He was both a reformer who modernized Europe and a conqueror whose wars left millions dead. Despite his flaws, Napoleon remains a symbol of ambition, innovation, and the power of one individual to reshape history. Alexander, Caesar, Genghis Khan, and Napoleon were towering figures in history, each driven by immense ambition that reshaped the world in their image. Their lives were marked by unparalleled achievements. Alexander's empire stretched from Greece to India. Caesar transformed Rome and laid the foundation for its imperial future. Genghis Khan forged the largest contiguous empire in history, and Napoleon revolutionized warfare while redefining Europe's political landscape. Yet for all their triumphs, each met a tragic and unfulfilled end. Alexander, despite conquering much of the known world, died at 32, longing for further conquests. Caesar, at the peak of his power, was assassinated by those he trusted most. Genghis Khan's empire expanded relentlessly, yet he perished during a campaign, his burial site forever a mystery. Napoleon, the brilliant tactician, ended his days in lonely exile, dreaming of an empire lost. Their lives encapsulate the paradox of ambition. No matter how much is achieved, the hunger for more remains, and even the greatest are ultimately bound by mortality. Thanks for watching. What part of this episode resonated with you the most? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're enjoying the journey through the Chronicles of Eras, hit that like button and subscribe so you'll be notified whenever we post new adventures.